Today I fucked up. I am quarantined solo, party of one, me myself and I, and well, I thought about a hug. This isn't exciting. Maybe borderline sad, but I live alone in a tiny NYC apt, work a wildly stressful low-paying sales job, and quarantine hit right as I was polishing my resume and making plans to move in with my BFFs, all late 20s, single, and figure it's probably our last chance to live together again. Then Rona hits the city and I'm sick and then healthy. Working like crazy, crying in between calls. Have seen small groups of social distanced friends, and let me tell you, I've never been more grateful for parks. So today, I had a nice long cry after an intense call with my boss. In his head he's being inspirational, and in my head I hear, "You suck." I hung up and thought, what will make me feel better? I just want a hug. Just one nice long hug. So now I'm crying hugging my pillow. Too long didn't tread, live alone, we're in quarantine. I need a hug. Have an internet hug from me to you, stranger. We're not all introverts, and I feel bad for those that are really struggling with the ISO. I'm not the most outgoing, but even I've been feeling it. Don't feel bad for having emotions. Don't think you're fucking up for wanting a hug. We're social creatures. We crave people as much as people can suck. It's just in us. So cry, hug your pillow, let it out, face it, and move forward with better understanding of yourself and just life. It's all part of being human. And you sound like a fine example of one to miss people so much that it hits you so much. We'll get through this. After all, we're alone together. Stay safe, friend, and don't judge yourself too harshly for just being human like everyone else. Big mental hug. 2 hearts. I'm a bit of a hugger, as well as being family oriented and being able to physically see my parents through the window to drop stuff off at their place, but unable to hug them was pretty emotionally rough. Sending you a virtual hug. I'm stuck alone during this too. I feel ya. My sleep cycle has gone to hell and I can't focus on anything for more than 10 minutes at a time. It sucks cause it's messing with my productivity at work, but I feel like I can't say anything because I feel like I don't have any real issue to deal with, and I feel like everybody will just say I'm being dramatic or lazy. But at the very least I was used to walking 3+ miles a day to and from work, so at least I'd expend some energy. Lately I've started to feel like I'm legit losing it. Today I fucked up by agreeing to go tubing and getting surprise anal from lake water. So, to preface this, I hate lakes. I hate any body of water where I can't see the bottom, and because of this, I've spent years avoiding boats or swimming in anything but pools. But today, my mom finally convinced me to go tubing with her and her fiancé. For anyone who doesn't know what tubing is, you tie a blow-up raft called a tube to the back of the boat and the driver whips it around while the people on the tube try not to fall off. There's a reason I has a lower life expectancy. So, I got in the tube, and the first few rounds were fine, maybe even fun despite being surrounded by one of my worst fears. Then the wind picked up, and so did the waves. Bigger waves must be more fun, right? Wrong. You hit them like slabs of concrete, then get 10 feet of air which pummels you into the next painful wave. We hit a few huge ones, then all I saw was bubbles. It happened so quickly I didn't even realize I fell off, but all I could think was, oh my god, my asshole. The water blasted into me so hard it literally felt like a dick the size of a bag of bagels had just been stuck up my ass unloved. I'm honestly convinced that the propulsion of the water coming back out of me is what helped me resurface. I pulled myself back to the boat with the rope, got in, then immediately jumped back out because another dreaded fear came true. I shit myself. You'd think that's the worst it can get. Little booty pain and some doo-doo from being ass blasted by the teamwork of Mother Nature and a motor? Nope. We were all laughing it off, but after going home later, I realized something was wrong. It felt like a Bakugan or Timbit or something was just chilling in my butt. I did a little, self-exploration with a mirror and realized that the dick of the lake god didn't just pull the crap out of me, it took a bit of my insides with it. Today should have been a lesson on how facing your fears can lead to fun experiences. But nope, no fun for me. Only hemorrhoids. I'm never getting in a fucking lake again. Too long didn't read, avoided lakes for years, finally got in one and got blasted so hard by it my ass hemorrhaged. Did you see your doctor? Rectal prolapse is extremely dangerous. Not yet. My family has a weird history with hemorrhoids. Basically our whole family has fucked bowels, so I got some advice from my grandma, and if it doesn't seem improved tomorrow I'll go in. It luckily didn't fall out or anything like a complete prolapse, but seeing something poke out down there that isn't poop is alarming for sure lol. Surprise enema are always exciting. At least it was free. People pay good money for a nice colon cleansing. The thought of water thrusting you forward via ass propulsion is goddamned hilarious. You should have asked the water to use lube. If I had time to think I might have. Today I fucked up by awkwardly exiting a job interview. This didn't happen today, but it did pop into my head and I'm trying to dilute the embarrassment by sharing with strangers. Job interviews have never been a speciality of mine, so my natural awkwardness and discomfort in my own body is amped up to a huge degree. On this occasion, after delivering a piss-poor interview, sweating profusely throughout, I made my way to the door. In my haste, I swung my arm at a weird angle and quite forcefully smacked my own ass. Based on the noise it made, I feel it would be easy to assume it was a purposeful action. I kept walking. To add insult to injury, when I made it to the main entrance of the building, I was so desperate to leave that I ended up getting into the same, very small, section of a revolving door with a random employee. Again, I chose to simply refuse to acknowledge my error and continue on my way. I didn't get the job. By that point, I didn't particularly want it. TL, doctor, felt awkward at a job interview, handled this by smacking my own ass then cramming myself into a revolving door with a random man. When I was interviewing for school, one of my interviewers was this really crusty elderly man. At the end of the interview, he stood up and held out his hand, so I stood up and shook it. Shared some parting words, then he held out his hand again, and I thought, oh no, he must have forgot that we just shook hands, so I shook it again. The third time he held out his hand, I was super confused, but today I fucked uply shook it again, only to suddenly realize he was gesturing towards the door. It still keeps me up at night sometimes. Lamau. I have never seen two people in the same section of a revolving door except a parent and child. Must have been mortifying. If it's any consolation, the interviewers probably forgot. Although, the guy who smacked his own ass does rather roll off the tongue. Nope, when I do interviews the panel of interviewers often struggle to remember the names of all the candidates when it comes to review which was the best. Someone will inevitably ask, is that the one that slapped their own ass on the way out? Sorry this happened, but thanks for the laugh. I recently had an interview mishap myself. Super nervous but did decently well during the actual interview. They walked me out, and watched as I opened the door to leave. It was the furnace. Super embarrassing as there was no door to leave, just an open hallway. Gets worse though because I got the job, went in to sign the papers, and then the same exact damn thing again. In front of the same people. I'm sure they are impressed with their decision. Gotta hand it to them, they're consistent.